Fall is not only my favorite time of year because of Halloween and the nice weather, but also because it's the time of year where the awards movies are coming out. And it's always a gamble if these are any good or not. But it's fun to be able to go to the theater and see, like, well, I could be seeing like the most incredible thing I've ever seen, or it could just be okay. It's a fun time full of possibility, and I wanted to talk about some of the films coming out in October that I'm curious about. I'm not necessarily going to see all of these, but these are ones that have piqued my interest that I would like to watch at some point, unless the reviews are super terrible. I'll be going in order of when they're releasing in the United States, since that's where I live. And also just a note on a few of these, they might be getting a limited release on the dates I'm mentioning and then getting a larger release later. But their initial release are the dates I'm going to be mentioning. So, I'm going to start from the beginning of the month and then work my way to the end. October 3rd is the first Friday of the month and is completely slammed full of films for some reason. At least ones that I'm interested in. The first film that has caught my interest is The Smashing Machine, directed by one half of the Safdie brothers and starring Dwayne Johnson. The film is about Mark Kerr, a former amateur wrestler and eventually MMA fighter. I'll admit I'm mostly interested in this film because people say Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is good in it. I have not really seen anything where I'm really impressed by him, so I'm curious what that would look like. I also think his makeup looks absolutely incredible, and I think that's really impressive, and I'd love to see that on the big screen. I love how it completely transforms him. Will he be able to match that in his acting ability? That remains to be seen. Also releasing October 3rd is Anemone, directed by Ronan Day-Lewis, son of Daniel Day-Lewis, who is also starring in the film. I have actually not seen any trailers for this, which is on purpose. So I know next to nothing about the plot or anything, but I do know that Daniel Day-Lewis found this material interesting enough to not only come back to acting, but he also co-wrote it with his son. Maybe it was just because he wanted to support his son in something, but I'm hoping that it's because he's genuinely interested in whatever story he and his son are wanting to tell, enough that he helped write it and also is starring in it. So I'm curious to see A, what this is about, and B, if it's any good. We'll see. I'm sure Daniel Day-Lewis will be incredible. He's always great. Also coming out on October 3rd is Good Boy, the horror film starring a dog, essentially. I think this, in theory, sounds really interesting. I'm curious to see if they can pull it off. With stuff like this, it can either be just sort of gimmicky, and I hope that's not the case here, because it sounds really interesting, but could also just not be executed very well. I suppose we'll see. But I am interested to see if they're able to pull it off. I have heard good things about it, and people who have seen it have liked it, but I am curious to just see it myself. And then moving on to October 10th, that's also a pretty busy time. Tron Ares is going to be releasing October 10th. I'm really curious if this is going to be any good. I like the other films. I think they're fun. I think they look great. I am just so not looking forward to seeing a movie with Jared Leto in the lead role. Will he be any good? I don't know. This is one I will probably definitely see because my dad really likes these films and I grew up watching them, and we saw Tron Legacy when it first came out, and anyway, it was a big deal in our house. And I love the original for its historical significance, and I really want to watch the remastered 4K version. And I love that they're kind of doing this all together, even if it's just Tron Ares is the reason we have that really nice looking 4K of the original Tron. I'll take it, even if the film is not good. I have been listening to some of the music by 9 Inch Nails, and that's been really fun. So even, again, if it just gives us more music, I'm also cool with that too. Another film kind of releasing that day is House of Dynamite. I'm hoping it will play by me. It's a Netflix release, so it will be on Netflix on the 24th, but it is getting a limited theatrical release, I imagine, because they want it to be able to be nominated for Oscars and you have to be in theaters for a certain amount of time, but that doesn't mean they necessarily will show it all across the country. It's generally just in specific places in order to be able to receive nominations from the Academy. But I'm putting it here because I want to manifest that I'll be able to see it in theaters because it looks really cool. It's directed by Catherine Bigelow, and it's a political thriller starring some of my favorites like Idris Elba and Rebecca Ferguson. I've only seen one trailer, and that's on purpose, so I'm a little fuzzy on the details of the plot, but I kind of want to go in as blind as I can. People seem to like it at the Venice Film Festival, so I'm hoping that I will also like it. I mean, I can't imagine I wouldn't, so we'll see. Also releasing on the 10th is If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. It stars Rose Byrne, who is amazing, of course, but her therapist is played by Conan O'Brien. And this is like, I think, supposed to be a serious film. I mean, he's playing a therapist unless he's like a really goofy therapist. This is definitely not the norm for him, which I think is exciting. I really love Conan O'Brien. I think he's very funny. I listen to his podcast and I just think this is an interesting creative pivot for him, and I'm curious to see how he'll be in the film. I know he's not the star, and I've heard people really like this film, so I'm excited to give this one a look. So I'm curious to see what a serious role from Conan O'Brien looks like. And people said he was good. I remember hearing at Sundance people really liked him. So we'll see what that looks like. On October 17th, my most anticipated film of the year is getting a small theatrical release similar to House of Dynamite, where it's a Netflix thing, but they want to release it in theaters so it'll be eligible for Oscars. And that movie is Frankenstein. I've also heard that it's getting a small IMAX release. Again, I don't know if it will be somewhere where I can go see it, but I'm manifesting that by including it here because I would like to see this film as soon as possible. I already loved the book. I've read it. It's been a long time, and I kind of am waiting to watch this film to read it again. But I'm curious what his interpretation of the story is. I've been slowly making my way through his filmography, and I think he's such a natural fit for this story. His production design and just the ideas that he's already exploring in his original work, I think really fits well with the themes of the book itself. And I really want to see it on the big screen. I don't want to just watch it at home. It looks like there's so much color and just so much exquisite stuff to just really sink into. I'm hoping I get to see it in a theater, but if not, it'll be on Netflix on November 7th. There's another film that's releasing this month on October 24th called Bugonia. I love Emma Stone. I think she is one of the more interesting actresses right now. She's picking really interesting projects and is amazing in them. I also love how much she loves working with Yorgos Lanthimos. They make incredible things together. I think Poor Things is still one of my favorite films since 2020 probably. I think about it frequently, and the two of them really make that film what it is. You can tell that they just work well together. Anyway, I also think the concept is interesting. I think it will be fun and funny. So I'm curious to see how it shakes out, and I think I will be checking this one out. And that's October. It's a busy month, so we'll see what I can actually make it to. I think all of these I'll watch eventually, even if I can't catch them in the theater. What are y'all interested in watching this month? I'm sure there's something I overlooked that I totally missed, so I'd love to hear if there's anything that I didn't include that you're interested in seeing. But I'm looking forward to October. I think this will be a fun rest of the year. This is always my favorite time of year, October, November, December, for films, and I'm really curious to see kind of who pushes forward as a great film and who kind of gets lost in the dust. I think October is looking to be an interesting month for movies, and I plan to be at the theater as much as I can, but some of these I'm not going to be able to make it to, and that's okay. But it has been fun thinking about yeah, I am interested in a movie. Why is that? What about this concept or the people working on it has captured my attention here? So anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful October and a great Halloween, and enjoy watching films at the theaters. There's some interesting things coming out this month. And thank you for watching.